Actions. My name is Derek and I am coming back to you to make another review video. This will be just a quick one. It's been a while since I put a video together, so I figured it was about time to just, put something out there, say hi again. Today I'm going to talk about one of my favorite rifles, and this one's my personal rifle. I love shooting it. It's a lot of fun. It is the Mossberg 464 SPX 30-30 lever action. I tell you what, it is not your grandpa's lever action. Tri-rail fore-end, fiber optic sights, 6-position telescoping buttstock with adjustable comb. The thing is just amazingly fun to shoot. It's small enough, compact enough, you can put it underneath the seat of a pickup if you're out on the farm or the ranch. It's got enough power to do pretty much anything within 200 yards. It's not a long-range weapon by any means, but we'll do a quick rundown of the features on it. I added the scope and then this foregrip on it. From the factory, this particular one is kind of a first production run version. The newer ones don't have the full length tri-rail. I mean, they've only got maybe a 2-inch tri-rail all the way around. But this one's got the full length rails on the foregrip. It's kind of it's a polymer underneath there. It's not wood. There's no wood on this gun anywhere. And it comes with ladder bar covers, so if you don't want to put anything on them at all, then you can cover them up and not rip your hands up in the recoil of the 30-30. But features of this gun will start at the barrel, at the muzzle, and this one is just the regular end on the muzzle. You can get them with a threaded muzzle for a muzzle brake or heaven knows why a suppressor. But anyway, you can get them factory threaded, which is really cool. It's a 16 3/4 inch barrel on this one, a 5+1 30-30 capacity, and just so y'all know, there's your 30-30 flat nose with a lever action tube feed. You want a flat nose round so it's not striking off primers in the tube. Fiber optic front sights. It's got a red front sight and you can't see it, but under here it's got a green fiber optic rear sight, fully adjustable, really nice sight picture. It's out of the box, the sights were pretty close to on. I'm not going to guarantee that with everyone because shipping is, it's kind of its own little world and things get bumped around. Moving down, as I already talked about, the tri-rail foregrip. I added this angled fore handle just for a little bit better ergonomics. That's one thing this gun falls short on, is the actual shooting ergonomics. It's not the most comfortable gun to shoot in the world, as it is out of the box, because the lever action is designed to be held up tight and close, and with this style of buttstock on it, if you got long arms and you have it set all the way out, it makes it kind of awkward running the lever. And this Mossberg has a very long throw on the lever. See, it goes a long ways forward. I think it's Browning makes their lever actions, or some of them anyway, with a cam system where the lever, to full run it only goes about that far. So with something like that, it'd work a little bit better. But anyway, moving on, getting down to the action of the gun. As I said, it's a 5+1 and it has the Winchester style loading. The action of this gun is actually based off of a Winchester. Mossberg did a really good job on taking that design and, well, making it better. It's not perfect. One thing this gun does not do very well is rapid fire, and I blame it on the rimmed cartridge. The 30-30 is a rimmed case, and it gets hung up inside the action if you try to feed it too fast. But if you take your time, aim your shots like you're supposed to, you typically don't have a problem. The rails for the scope, I had to buy extra. That does not come with them on the gun, or with the gun for that matter. They're not that expensive, but the downside of those is that once you put these little half rails on, it completely blocks your rear sight. So if you want to take the scope off and use the iron sights, you got to take those rails off too. Not a big deal. The scope is nice on there. It's probably a little overkill for what this gun will do, but I had it laying around. It's what I had, and it didn't cost me any money other than the rails to put on. It's an external hammer, just like every lever action that I've seen. Mossberg took this, and Winchester's safety was on the side of the receiver here. But Mossberg took and put their shotgun style safety on here, which is a really cool feature. The way they did it is the safety on this gun actually stops the hammer. It doesn't block the trigger, and it engages the block in front of the hammer that actually keeps the hammer from falling all the way onto the firing pin. Because as the hammer rests in its decocked state, like you see it is right here, and just so you know, we are clear and it's empty. This hammer does not rest on the firing pin. It does fall short, and it relies on inertia to carry it forward and hit the firing pin when you pull the trigger. That safety prevents it from going past its neutral state, which is really cool. It'll freak somebody out if they pull the trigger and it clicks and the hammer drops and the round never goes off, because with a safety you can still pull the trigger. But what they did with that is they made it so in order to pull the trigger, you have to actually squeeze the lever into the handle of the gun, and that releases a trigger lock. It's a lot like a grip safety on a handgun. And I know the grip safeties on handguns, a lot like the Springfield XD series, is not a widely liked feature. And I've said it before and I'll say it again, boo-hoo. You know, you're gripping the gun, you've already bypassed that safety, get over it. This one works as it should. It's all mechanical safeties. They're very simple, very basic, and they work. But the gun, it's just all in all put together. If you're a classic lever action guy and you're into the classic fancy beautiful wood stocks and laminate finishes and polished barrels and that whole shebang, it's probably not the gun for you. It's not one that you hang on the wall and say, hey look, I have this pretty classic lever action over here, it's a collector's item. No, this gun's a workhorse. Through and through, purebred workhorse, and it just keeps going. I absolutely love it. It's fairly cheap to get a hold of. I think when I bought this one, it was probably, I think it was right around the $400 mark. I mean, $400 for a 5+1 capacity 30-30. That's a lot of gun. That's a lot of gun for that kind of money. And if you're one of these guys that likes to accessorize their guns and they want something different, you know, other than the AR platforms that everybody else in the gun world has, this will get you something different. This is something that'll make the guys at the range look twice. When you pull this out and you've got a, you know, every now and then I mount a rail-mounted bipod on the front just for extra stability. Maybe I don't want to stand there and hold the gun offhand. I have lazy days. And it works great, and it's a definite conversation piece. Some of the cons that I've seen in this gun, and every gun has it. I'm a big fan of certain brands and certain styles of weapons and that whole thing, just like everybody else. But what a lot of people don't realize when they're being brand myopic like that is that their preference has faults too. You know, they're not willing to accept that. Well, here I am showing you my favorite weapon of my entire collection right now, and I'm going to tell you the faults. out of the box, this gun did not like to extract spent cartridges. The extraction clip on this bolt, yeah, I guess you could call it a bolt. It's, I don't know. Yeah, that'd be a bolt. You gotta give me a little bit of credit here. This is about 12 o'clock in the morning and I'm shooting a video because I was bored and didn't want to go to bed. So, you know, work with me here. Anyway, the extraction clip on this thing is a piece of spring steel bent in a hook shape that hooks around the rim of the cartridge. And in theory it works pretty good. It's a little on the cheesy side. You can tell it was built on a little bit of a budget. But I had a problem where it wasn't short enough to actually go over the rim of the cartridge. So what I had to do is I had to tear this gun apart, pull that extractor clip out, and actually file it down a little bit so it was shortened and it would actually clip over the rim of the cartridge when it was in the chamber. And that worked. I don't know if I did it quite far enough. I might have to take it off and take a little bit off again. But you know, it's a fix. It's an easy fix for somebody who knows what they're doing. Let's see here. And I already explained the inability to rapid fire. I don't know, there's not a whole lot of faults. You're gonna get, if you own one of these guns, you're gonna get a lot of comments about it being ugly. And you know what? It's ugly. The thing is just hideously ugly. I don't know, I've got a thing for ugly guns, I guess, because I've got high points and I've got this. And I mean, none of those are pretty, but I tell you what, they're functional. They'll run all day long. Oh, lever action rifles are not the easiest thing to tear apart. If you tear one apart and you have parts go everywhere and you don't know what you're doing, you're in a long evening putting it back together. This one, I'd never really tore a lever apart before, but a few minutes of looking at it and figuring out what has to come off first, I got it figured out. I think that's probably the reason why I haven't taken that extractor back off again, is because I just don't want to deal with it. For as often as it acts up, I'm not too worried about it. A lot of lever guns, and Mossberg has these, they make classic lever guns too, the 464 series, for their higher power rifles. I just totally blanked and don't remember where I was going with that. Oh, the barrel length. This is a short barrel. This is what I would consider a carbine. You know, it's not a full length rifle. It's just long enough to be legal. And I'm on their website right now, and the standard 30-30 classic wood foregrip, wood buttstock 30-30 464 rifle is a 20-inch barrel. You know, and some guys will want that 20-inch barrel for the extra range. And yes, with the 16 3/4-inch barrel and the slow, heavy 30-30 cartridge, it's not a 300-yard gun. If you're really good and the wind is really treating you nice that day, you probably could get a 300-yard shot out of it. If I want to shoot something at 300 yards, I've got a 243, I've got an SKS that I might be able to coax a shot like that out. I've got my Mosin Nagants. I've got other rifles to do it with. And the 30-30 is not going to be the one I reach for. But I'm going to wrap this up here pretty quick. I don't want to get to where I'm rambling on. But anyway, if you're looking for a fairly economical, easy to shoot, fairly simple to maintain, you know, short of just, I wouldn't expect to tear it apart much. You know, basic clean, running a snake through the barrel, swab through the barrel, you know, spraying it down with some bore cleaner and oiling it up. It's pretty simple to maintain. A rugged design. I mean, there's no real other than that extractor. Obviously, like I said, there's not a lot of cheap materials on it. It's an actual ATI brand buttstock. it's a high quality piece. You know, the finish is nice and durable. It's a gun that if you're out on the ranch or out on the farm or just out backpacking out in the woods somewhere, it's a nice, small, lightweight weapon that you can carry with you that's got enough snort in it to do whatever you're going to need it to, and you can get into them pretty cheap. And they're a lot of fun to shoot. My brother-in-law and I sit on the edge of his deck from time to time. He's got a 308 Browning and I've got this, and we'll just sit there and plink cans out the back of his deck. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. But anyway, I will probably be slapping in some footage of this rifle being shot, where I will magically change clothes, change location, and it'll be the middle of the day instead of the middle of the night. So I'll see if I can find some footage for it and stick it in here for you. And until next time, signing out. We'll see you.
Rolling. Oh. 30-30. Mossberg SPX. SPX. Hey, that was a dead on too. Got such a long stroke on that lever.
I just love the dust getting kicked up in front of the rifle.
Yeah? Oh. Alright. We shot everything now?
I think so.
Alright, well, we're gonna call it a wrap for the day. Guns Forever Range Day. Later.